Welcome to the Chasing Meeples podcast. If you want a lighthearted take on board games with a sprinkling of hilarity, you're in the right place. On today's episode, Chris and Angie discuss their top 5 games with animals in it. This is gonna be awesome. I ain't lying. The banter starts now.
Hello, everybody. This is the Chasing Meeples podcast. I'm your host, Chris. And as always, I am with my lovely co-host.
I'm Angie.
All right. How's it going? Apparently, my mic was a little too loud for you, huh?
Well, you were a little enthusiastic, I think.
I like enthusiasm.
I do. Except when it's coming through my ears at 80 decibels.
80 decibels.
I don't know. I'm just grabbing random
80 decibels
numbers.
Straight into your ear holes.
Grabbing random numbers and throwing it out there, seeing what sticks.
Hey, that's fine. Whatever. 80 decibels it is. How's it going?
It's going good. I'm fine.
Do you know we are in double digits?
Double digits.
Double digits.
Well, I know that because it's sitting here right in front of me on my computer.
Episode 10 of the Chasing Meeples podcast.
We are on 10. Yeah.
We're on 10.
Oh.
You know, you think back, we've been doing this since November, right? So we haven't been doing this very long. So 10 episodes since November. It is now March 19th on the day that we're recording it, this episode. And I believe it's March 19th, is it? Yeah. Oh, I got it
March
right.
18th, isn't it?
Nope, March 19th,
March
Sunday,
19th.
March 19th,
Sunday.
So I think we're doing pretty good.
We're doing okay. We've pretty much stayed on schedule to a month.
Yep, 2 episodes a month.
Because we had stuff going on, we were late one week and then made up for it, stayed on time, made up for it the next.
Yeah. So what is your favorite thing about this whole podcasting thing? 10 episodes
Oh
in.
my God. Oh, put you on a spot, right?
This episode 10 is going to be all about putting you on the spot.
Oh my gosh, it was hard enough for me to come up with 5 animal themed games. Suddenly, what's the best? It's you.
Oh, it's me
you.
and the
It
golden
is.
voice.
Yes, it is.
Aw.
What if I would have said anything else?
Anything else?
If I would have said anything else than that, I would have been like,
No. I want your honest thing. What are you enjoying the most out of this Chasing Meeples journey?
oh, crummy.
Crummy. Would you like me to go first? Let's take the pressure off.
Yeah,
you.
we're going. Okay, if we are, if this is a back and forth thing, absolutely.
Okay, so what I am enjoying the most about our Chasing Meeples journey, other than the fact that it's allowing me to relive my youth, messing with the audio stuff and just creating content, I guess. It brings me back to the 90s. I've been thinking about this. So I was talking to somebody and I was talking about how cool it is that not only do we get to just sit and chat about something that we enjoy, collaborating or being able to talk with other content creators. Now we haven't really done any collaboration, but just the interaction, and so far every interaction I've ever had with another content creator has been positive.
Yep.
And I made the comment to this person that I will wear a t-shirt. I was talking about All Aboard Gamer. I will wear their t-shirt. We bought their t-shirts. We watch their live stream on Thursdays whenever we get a chance. And I like that. So I made the comment that I was taking it straight back to the 90s, back when I was in a punk band. And it was all about wearing, everybody else in the scene's shirts. And whether you personally got along with them or not, you were just, you're wearing their shirts and all that fun stuff. So word of mouth. Now it is 2023. Don't necessarily know if there's a better way to do it, which I'm sure there is. But I like kicking it old school.
You didn't see that. You have no idea how hard it was to keep a straight face because you did not see that.
I didn't see any eye rolls. I'm very proud of you. I didn't even get
I was so shocked by what I was seeing.
What, me just beatboxing?
But it was the whole movement that was going along with it. There's a whole movement. There's a whole.
You got to get that movement
can't
in
even
there.
say what kind of movement that was. It was
the beat.
I don't know. It was just your. I'm so shocked. That movement had me shocked, speechless.
Okay.
Speechless.
Okay, so now I went. So what are you enjoying the most? So like I can tell you one thing I am super proud of you for, but I want you to answer my question. I feel like you've been tiptoeing around it.
I appreciate talking about board games because it's
Yeah.
something that I love to people that are interested in board games. I can talk about board games to people who will just glaze over if I even remotely mention something. I mean, I don't even have to mention a board game term, but I know when people start to gloss over, what you did? I said, oh, I'm great. I don't even go into, oh, I played a game. I just said, yeah, we had a good time. We did our usual. Because if I get any more in depth to that, that's when the glossing over hits.
Oh, do you mean the standard? Hey, well, what'd you do this weekend?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yes, that's standard. What did you do this weekend? It's like you really don't want to know.
I think it's really cool that you have somebody that works at where you work.
Yeah, she
also works in a game shop or game store.
Yeah. Well, I have a toy store in the basement. So when I want to talk about Favorite Game Friday, when I want to show up my videos, when I talked about the Kickstarter, I would go down there when she comes upstairs and we'd share all that kind of stuff. I tell Pam and she gets all excited for me and stuff like that. Yes. And Faith works upstairs in our yarn store and she works at one of our local game stores in town here. So it's, fun to talk to her about it. And I talked to her about that convention that just went on. And so, yeah, there is somebody. It is. And we went there today.
Yeah, we did.
We went there today, made a purchase, and she even mentioned that she's going to ask me how I like it.
Yeah, so you will have somebody to talk to other than me. I feel like we've gotten over the save it for the podcast discussion because this morning we were having a good discussion, I think, on the way when I was bringing you into work about Tyletum.
Yes.
And I think that was a good game.
Yes, that was going to be I was going to ask you. It was a Euro game. So I made a comment. I did a video and I talked about Tyletum and I said, I don't know how I worded it. If I worded it like...
you said Chris isn't going to like it.
I didn't say Chris
in a
is
nutshell.
going to like it.
In a nutshell.
But I didn't use those words.
No, but
I don't think Chris is going to have the stamina for it.
The stamina.
Stamina.
Okay.
And what did you say to me? Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. That is actually, before we talk about Tyletum, I want to tell you, I am very proud of you. That's what I was saying. I'm very proud of you for that YouTube video. So I wake up in the morning and my day starts between 1:30 a.m. and 3 a.m. every day to go to work. And then I'm usually working until, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So anyway, my day starts very early. I wake up and I look at my phone and there's a text message from Angie that I wake up to. I uploaded a short and a video. I'm sorry. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, but that is essentially what it said.
Essentially, yes.
And I'm like, okay. So I responded with, you don't have to be sorry. And then I went on with my day. And my day was like, I walked into work and it was like I stepped on that conveyor belt and boom, it was 4 o'clock. And I don't even know what the heck I did. But I know I did something because lawnmowers were made. I finally get a chance to sit down and I see Board Games and Banter with Angie. Is that what you called it?
I think so.
And I'm like, this is not a short. It is 20 minutes long, but it was filmed in the vertical.
There was a short.
But there was a short, which I did see. I'm like, oh boy. So I click on it and it's got intros, an intro video and an outro graphic. And I'm like, way to go. I was really proud of you. I still am proud of you. I can't wait for the second episode of Board Games and Banter with Angie. I think that would make a perfect live stream. People commenting and you just interacting. You got that. You've got that. You've got that. That's you. So yeah. So let's get back to stamina. Let's get back to stamina.
Chris's stamina.
So last night when we played it, I walked in there and I really wanted to play it. I mean, you're setting up a game. So I asked if I could play. Can you teach me? First of all, did you think I was going to?
I don't know if I thought you were going to, but I was prepared to play it regardless if you were going to.
Okay. I
was waiting for you
to hand it.
No, I was actually going to go through the solo rules.
Oh, okay.
But if you wanted to play it, I was setting it up and, I'm setting it up. So if you wanted to play it, then I was easily it's ready. It was ready for you.
So I sit down, I'm ready for this. And I've got some green tea, trying to get some energy going. And I'm perfectly awake and I look at this board being set up and holy cow, when you said there's a lot to manage or a lot going on in that game, I'm just watching you put stuff out and I'm like, geez. But most Euro games in my mind kind of look a little bit more intimidating than they actually are once you learn how to play them.
Yeah. Which
was also the case with Tylenum.
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden, as soon as you started explaining the rules, I felt my eyelids getting heavy.
Well, see, I thought I did it really well. I was listening to somebody on how to teach a game, and it was what is your theme?
Yeah, and
why are you winning? How do you win? What's your end game scoring? How do you go back and how do you get there?
Right.
And I, when I started talking actions, I said, do you want to learn the actions as we go along, or do you want me to sit there? If I would have sat there and listed every action and then the 3 ways that what you can do on each action,
yeah,
and then the task.
Oh, I would have been out.
You would have been out.
I would have been out.
Yeah.
But
you stayed awake through the whole thing. So
no, you did a great job.
And you won. So
I'm not saying that your teach was horrible. I'm just saying that, holy cow. Yes, I need to know theme, right? That must be the Ameritrash player in me coming in. Like the theme. What's the theme? Flavor text, all that, right? So you tell me that. I'm like, okay, all right, I can see that. But then I look at this rondelle or this action wheel or whatever you want to call it. And it's so far away from me.
It actually, yeah.
It's so far away from me. And I'm sorry.
You weren't standing up.
I'm not going to stand up in the middle of a game. This is not like calisthenics or anything.
The whole time I'm waiting for you to stand up and I'm pointing out things and you're not moving. And so I literally have to take the tile off of here and bring it to you and say, see?
Yeah, you're sitting closer to it than me. Give me that blue number 5. Whatever that is.
Exactly. What resource is that? Do I get iron or do I get wool?
But I figured it out.
You did. By the third round, you were cruising through there and you're like, I'll do this and I'm going to take here and then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to get those points and literally I'm still looking at what am I going to do and you're like, and I'm going to do that and that. I'm like, is your turn over with yet? It's not like I'm questioning what you're doing. It's like I was so completely. You had it. There was like this one turning point where you were like, "What's that? What's that? Now what do I do here?" And it was like in an instant. Suddenly you're like, "Bing, bang, boom! This, point this, sell this. I was just like back and forth. And you did like 7 actions back to back. And I'm just sitting here going, oh, I need a pillar. How am I going to move back up to London? And I'm counting my action points. And how do I get back to that merchant action? I don't have gold, and I'm looking here, and you're like, here I go, and I'm going to fulfill this contract, and I'm going to take this task, and I'm going to exchange gold for wood, and I'm going to go over here to this cathedral, and
Yeah, it clicked.
And then what were you doing? Was it you were, I think, building to buy the cathedrals or something, and you got so bummed out when...
No, so at the start of the game, I went to London because London was the last location for the festival.
But that was a good move.
And so I agree. That was a good move. But I screwed up the iconography, and that was probably when my eyes were like getting heavy. It was fulfilled contracts and built cathedrals.
Yeah.
And I, for some reason, in my mind, kept seeing the slash.
Oh, the and/or
slash. And I was just like, wow. And then at the end, when we started to score, or when it clicked, I just remember giving you that look like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, because here you had like 20 contracts fulfilled. I'm looking over at you, and that's
not 20.
all your pillars are off there, and you've got all your contracts on here. And then I realized, no, you never got any cathedral. So, when I'm looking at it going, okay, I got 1 contract and 1 cathedral here. I got this one. And so I had the even numbers.
Yep. But yeah, that was the one thing that bummed me out. But you were right. 89-82, I believe, was the final score.
No, I think it was higher than that. I think
98-92.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was so close to 100. Anyway, yeah, that is a good game. I'd like to play that again. It is very beige.
It is.
I'm talking beige. If I didn't have a green pillar or a house, it would be beige. The whole thing.
Yep.
Beige.
But it's a good game. I mean, I enjoy Euros. I like the point salad things. I like being able to do something and feel rewarded for doing it. And I think that's why games that only have this track where you go up to 20 points and you got the winner, I feel cheated.
You feel cheated?
I feel cheated. I want to be able to get 135 points in a game.
All right, Angie. I want to try something new.
Oh, okay.
Don't have a name for it. But as of right now, I'm going to call it Things That I Found Interesting.
Yeah, you need a new name. I thought you were going to say like things I found on the internet or something, but
no.
Things I found interesting. Yep, you need a new name.
I want to do a little bit of a news segment.
Okay.
Maybe once a month or something, maybe every episode. Just some quick blurbs of things that I found that I thought were interesting.
Okay. Board game related or
Of course, board game related.
Okay.
Yes. No cryptids, just board games.
Okay.
So, Angie, did you know that there is a new Catan expansion coming out?
No.
Catan is getting a football-themed board game expansion.
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah. It's called Catan Soccer Fever, and it is supposed to be released sometime this year. Now, I am not 100% convinced that this is actually a thing. Seeing as that it is so close to April 1st.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this is a April Fool's thing.
So it's supposed to be an expansion or a new like retheming of it?
No, it's an expansion. It's an add-on essentially. So what I've gathered,
that doesn't make sense. Then I could see if they're retheming it like they did the Star Trek Catan, but how would you just do people settling farms over here? Suddenly they're playing soccer in the fields.
That's pretty much what it is. So every time you claim an area, you have these balls, and there's literally it's like a dexterity game. There's literally like a paper goal.
Okay.
And you play a flicking game where you make a goal. So not only are these people settling a new land, apparently they have some sort of love or obsession with soccer.
Okay.
And to celebrate taking over land, they play a game of soccer. I thought that was interesting.
It's very interesting.
Thought that was interesting.
That's interesting.
So the next news that I have, I'm going to say is some kind of sad news, but I see why it must be done. Restoration Games has announced that they will not be reprinting 2 of the Unmatched sets. Do you know which sets those are?
Bigfoot.
Robin Hood versus Bigfoot is one of them. Do you know what the other one is?
Cobble and Fog.
Yep. Cobble and Fog. So thankfully we found that one.
Yeah.
Right. So anybody that's listening to this that wants to get them, but has not yet, you might want to snag them up next time you see them because they might not be around very much longer. So they don't want Unmatched to be this big glob of thing that just takes up store shelves. And because a lot of their sales comes from brick and mortar. And I was reading this article.
Okay.
That a lot of their sales come from brick and mortar family game stores. And they don't want to be, you walk into it, like, I'll give you a really good example. We walk into a game store, you see a whole shelf full of nothing but Smash Up. Or
I was
a whole
just thinking that.
shelf full of nothing but Munchkin.
I was thinking that, yeah.
They don't want it to be that.
Okay.
Right. And they've got some new licensing deals. Apparently they're going to be coming out with some more Marvel sets, and they just released the digital version of that game on the Switch, which has some DLC probably. So you could probably, I'm assuming they'll probably have those digitally.
Okay.
Now they're saying that those other 2 sets that they are going to discontinue, they're not saying that they may not be resurrected in the future.
Yeah.
However, they're saying just
They're
now.
not going to print them.
No plans to reprint.
Oh, makes sense.
And then
I think as a business owner, you feel somewhat compelled to offer complete sets, creating that where I'm going to put out as much as possible. I'm going to get everything in. And then you're going to congest the shelves, which you could then turn off. Maybe a business owner saying they have too much content that we just can't keep up with it all.
Yep.
I don't know. Don't have a game store.
All right. And the final piece of news that I found exciting is, Angie, there is something that is scheduled for release in September of 2023. And it happens to be a game. We own the game that it is like it's not an expansion, but it's a standalone too. And do you know what that is? If I can give you a couple hints, do you think you could figure it out?
Well, I won't be able to figure it out without a hint.
All right. No kidding.
A game that we have.
A game that we have.
Yes. Okay. I got it from there.
That was on the level of an Angie quiz question right there.
No way. No way. A game that we have. Get out of here.
A game that we have with a letter on the cover in the title.
That is bad. I mean, you could even say a game we have that's rated 6.6, and I'd have at least a better chance of guessing it. Oh, got 6.
All right. So here is the first hint. It is published by Brotherwise Games.
I need another one.
All right.
It's not coming, but it's right there, but I can't.
Pixel Art.
Overboss?
Ding, ding, ding. Woo.
Woohoo.
September 2023, Overboss Duel is scheduled to come out. A 2-player version of the game.
Oh, okay.
It looks really neat.
Cool.
Yeah. So
cool.
anybody that likes Overboss and strictly plays games 2 players like Angie and I, 2-player version game. And that's
a good piece of news.
Is stuff that I found interesting. I don't know what we'll call this.
I did not hear that one.
Got to make some sort of jingle.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Jingle, stuff that Chris finds interesting.
Yeah, you're going to have to work on that title. It's quiz time, Chris.
Oh, yeah, quiz time.
And primarily our quiz. Now, let me think of a way to say that. Rewind that.
Normally?
For the most part, our quiz has been something that has to do with our name, either Chasing or Meeples, and I bring it back to a board game. It was a little bit loose last week. This one still does that, But coming up in the future, I've already written quiz for next episode. You're going to have to kind of go away from that a little bit, and it's going to be more thematic to what we're talking about. I'm really losing things. There's only so many things quiz-wise that match up with the word. I mean, I could do meeples. We could have quizzes about meeples coming out our yin-yang, but
Coming out of yin.
it's not flowing as well as it did in the beginning. But this one is still does it.
That's all right. And to remind everybody, I never am allowed to see these quizzes, these questions. Angie forbids me. She keeps them so secret and locked away. I have no idea what she's going to ask me. So the reaction that you hear is pretty much the truth. There is not a lot of editing, except for a lot of the ums and the breathing and the long pauses.
This one has 7 questions.
7 questions. And that gives me what for max points?
7.
Oh, yeah. No bonus questions?
No.
All right.
That's what I'm looking through here, and I don't think I have one. I could probably create one.
Nah, don't do it.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Okay. Are you ready?
Always.
An animal that is a pursuant predator is a predator that actively gives chase to the prey. Chase. Get it? The chase can
No,
be
I don't. Explain it a little bit.
chasing meeples.
Oh,
Chase.
okay.
That's
All
what I'm
right.
getting, chasing meeples.
You totally didn't catch the sarcasm on that, did you?
No.
Oh, okay. I can tell by the look on your face.
You're like, I
Chase,
didn't
get it? No, I didn't. A predator chasing its prey. Okay, I'm back in.
See how hard it is, people. See how hard it is. The chase can be initiated either by predator or by the prey if it is alerted to the predator's presence and attempts to flee before it gets close. What is the fastest pursuit predator?
Cheetah.
You got that right. With a running speed of 61 to 64 miles per hour.
Ooh,
Cheetah, very
I
good.
paid attention when I was watching TV growing up as a kid, apparently.
Yep.
I don't know.
Okay. I can't wait for this one because your eyes are going to glaze over.
Oh, good.
What is the title of the girl group formed in 2003 with the word cheetah in its name?
Oh, isn't it the Cheetah Girls?
Oh, damn it.
Is that the...
Yes, it is.
Don't you wish your boyfriend was hot like me?
I don't know if they sing, I don't think they sing that. I don't think they sing that because they were real young girls. I have no idea.
Oh, no. No, that wasn't the Cheetah Girls.
Yeah,
That was something else.
you were right about the Cheetah Girls, unfortunately. That's where Raven Simone played the
Okay.
Cheetah Girls in the Disney
Yeah.
show or whatever, the movie.
Okay.
And then,
Yes.
all right.
I got the Cheetah Girls.
You did. That's one I didn't think you were going to get. These you're going to have.
Boom.
You're probably going to get most
Max
of these.
points?
I think there's one that you.
Oh, I'm feeling max points. If you thought Cheetah Girls was the
I
stumper.
thought I did. I thought
Ooh.
Cheetah Girls was going to be the stumper. I
Ooh.
did. I did. What snack food has a cheetah for a mascot?
Cheetos.
And what's his name?
Chester
Oh.
Cheetah.
4.
And-
You're up to 4.
It ain't easy being cheesy.
There are 126 flavors or types of Cheetos. Which is not an official Cheeto flavor? Okay. Which is not.
Okay.
Cheeseburger, Korean pepper and garlic, brown sugar cube, sweet teriyaki rice, or shrimp Thai.
Brown sugar cube.
Nope, that's one.
What?
I gotcha on that one.
I bet you it was the rice one because your inflection in your voice was a little bit different when you read it.
That's right. Sweet teriyaki. I was just going to say sweet teriyaki, and I did because some of the words here were rather big. But yeah, sweet
Yeah.
teriyaki rice is.
I was thinking about, like they get some really good flavors in some other countries, but brown sugar cube just doesn't really do it for me. What country is that in?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I didn't look that up.
I didn't look.
Oh.
I was looking at them, but I didn't
Oh,
look to see
okay.
which countries. Some of it was obvious which countries they were from, but so you had 4. You got 4. You're still on 4. What is the one game that we own that has a cheetah in it?
Hold on a second. Before I even answer that question, how did you think that the Cheetah Girls was going to be the one that stumps me, but not the Cheeto flavors? I'm just going to...
Because that was multiple choice.
But still.
That was multiple flavor. That's multiple choice. Come on. That's like a 1 out of 5 chance.
Still. Oh, I'm so disappointed in myself right now.
Why?
I wanted max points. All right. Back to the game.
Back to the game.
The one game that we own
that has
a cheetah in it.
Yes.
I'm going to say it's Ark Nova.
Ark Nova is in the BGG top 100 as of 3/16. What is Ark Nova ranked?
4.
Did you look over there? Do you have it written down?
I'm good.
You have. You should. They've been talking about it lately as you're talking about news.
Actually, I have it on my list.
Yeah.
I knew it was ranked. It's ranked 4, isn't it?
It is.
4 on the BGG.
Well, as of 3/16, we have no idea because that top 100 seems to be shifting daily. You should look on there and see what it is.
It's still ranked 4.
Still ranked 4?
Because I was just on there today.
All right. So you got 6 out of 7.
That is the only time I will ever get what a game is ranked on BGG. Boom. And it just so happened to be because I wrote it down for my list. So what did I get? 8?
6 out of 7.
Oh, that's right. Thought I was getting bonus points.
For what?
Being me.
Oh.
All right. 6 out of 7. I'll take it.
Hey, Meeple Chasers. It's time for the top 5 animal games.
Angie and I want to talk about our top 5 animal-themed games. I don't know why.
Why not?
Oh, God.
Why?
I can't go there.
Why not?
I don't know.
Because it matches the quiz.
Okay. Did you write the quiz first? Or did you make the quiz after you came up with the top 5 animal games?
No. I had the quiz first. I had to get chasing. And so, cheetah question came first.
Okay. Love it. Love it. Now I know. Because it was very random. Like, what are we talking about during our podcast? I get a text, top 5 animal games. Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
The cheetah question came first, okay?
All right, what came first, the cheetah or the top 5 list?
Yeah, exactly. The chase.
All right. So we're going to get this started now. When I wrote my list, I basically wrote my list as games that I like and in the order that I like them that happen to have animals in them.
I did things that have animals in, so they won't. My list has how strongly the animal is in the game. Is it the whole game? Is it just there? Is it just theming? Is it there's just animal part of it? So that's kind of how I ranked it, not by how much I like the game.
My number 5 animal game is Hive. Why is Hive so high on my list, you say?
Well, actually, it's last.
But yes, it is last.
So no one's gonna say, "Hey, Chris, what? Your list when it's the last one."
Okay, what I should have said is, why is Hive in my top 5?
Oh, that's better.
That game has gotten Angie and I through a lot of sitting in restaurants, and we got Hive Pocket. It stays in its pouch. It's in the Jeep all the time, and we will take it out when we go to restaurants. Or it got us through like the longest wait at a Wahlburgers ever. It went with us to Red Lobster. Just recently went with us to Perkins. And man, oh man, that game is great. So it's tiles and that's it. Tiles in your imagination, pretty much. You don't have a board. You have to worry about keeping the tiles together in some orderly fashion.
Yeah. They like to slip around.
Yeah. But each bug, you've got ants, mosquitoes, dung beetles, bees, spiders, all this kind of stuff. And each it's very abstract. It's almost like an abstract version of chess. If you want to get, and that's the way I think of it.
Yeah.
Each bug can move in its own way. And I used to win all the time. And the last couple of times we played, Angie has crushed me in like record time. I came up with the dung beetle bomb. I don't know what I'm going to call that maneuver, the beetle bomber. I don't know. But I discovered that, if according to the rules, you can put the beetle on top of the bee and the queen can't move. And Angie's been using that against me.
I used that once.
What?
Did I use that twice? No, I just use it once.
Well, you smoked me last night. So then.
That's because I plopped it right on top of the queen, let it sit there. That was interesting because you were bragging, I'm going to get this game in 2 moves. I got it in 2 moves. And I had our queens next to each other, which was unusual. Usually never do that. And I moved mine out of the way and it left this hole.
Yeah.
And I moved it. I thought, oh, dang it. I moved it and there was nothing. How am I going to get something in there? Right. Well, here I am sitting on top of the queen. All I had to do was fall off the queen right into that space. And
you did.
And I did it.
I was trying to get into your head. It didn't work. I was trying. I was trying to get into your head.
What had happened? You're like, 2 moves. 2 moves, I got it. I made my next move. And you're like, I don't got it.
So then second game, I'm like, all right, this is going to be the most aggressive strategy ever. And I had to look at you and go, now remember, Angie, you cannot move your bugs until you place your queen.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I was going to put the spider down, then I was going to put the queen down, and then it was going to be like, bam, 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 bam. And in my mind, I thought I was just going to be able to like rush ya. And I didn't. I lost that one too.
I usually get stuck on the whole keeping the hive together. I want to move the queen and I can't because you're like, you can't break apart the hive. And so I still really haven't found in my mind the right way. I am looking for it now when I'm placing tiles that, okay, this is going to keep the hive connected if I move it. But right away looking at, I'm going to put this here, I'm going to put this here to keep everything connected. I can't do that. Yeah. I can't see that in my mind's eye.
Sure. So that is my number 5. Hive, also pretty much Hive Pocket, and it is ranked 276 on Board Game Geek.
Did you put that on there on purpose? Put that on purpose.
I did.
Yeah. I think we're going to have some crossovers with this list.
Cool.
But my number 5 is Endless Winter Paleomerica by Stan Kordonski. We've reviewed the game, so we have talked about it a lot because so I know everybody listening has already heard that, so I won't go into incredible detail. But while animals are not the focus of this game, and that's why this is down to number 5, they do play a strong role in the scoring. One of the possible actions available to players is the hunt action. And when you choose to hunt an animal, you go over to the hunting board and you're going to collect an animal, and there's 2 ways to use it. You can use them for endgame scoring because you're going to collect sets of animals, or you can kill it and eat its meat.
So
because meat is a resource.
Yeah, so you can basically keep it as a pet or eat it. In my mind, that's what you're doing when you're not eating it. You're keeping it as a pet.
Yes, I have 3 saber-toothed tigers.
My number 4 happens to be rated number 25 on Board Game Geek, and that is Wingspan. Wingspan's number 4 on my list because of the Wingspan Asia. Good game. I enjoyed it. I have the app version that I play on my Nintendo Switch. But this game, like I said in our feature review in, I believe, what was the last episode, it has now moved into a game that I want to continue to play. It'll be a regular 2-player game for us. So that is Wingspan Asia.
Good game. A good game.
Mm-hmm.
Good game. It is not on my list.
Ooh.
It's not on my list. Number 4. I think you're going to be surprised by this one, and I know it's not a crossover. That's Queens by Bruno Cathala. Queens.
That's an all right game.
It is a 2019 game, which is the oldest game on my list then. Queens is an abstract strategy game, just like Hive is.
Mm-hmm.
So it is an abstract game with the bee theme slapped on it, really. But it is a peaceful, thinky, as if you're sitting under a tree on a sunny day, contemplating the clouds in the sky. In Queens, there is a, stop laughing. It is. And this is what I thought of when I came, was at work.
Well, that was great. Very poetic.
There is a grid. And it is, I don't know if it's 8x8. I was going to look it up. But I'm not sure if it's not 5x5. Maybe it's a 6x6 grid. So there are different color flowers in each row. Some of them have bees on them. Some of them, the majority do not. And then there's a gardener path all around. And when the gardener walks around the flower on the path, he walks around the path, he will stop. I think you have 1, 2, or 3 steps you can take. The gardener stops. You can choose from that row or column. You can choose 3 flowers if they're all different colors. You could choose 2 flowers of the same color, or you could choose 1 flower with a bee. Now you're going to take them and put them on your personal player board in front of you. And the goal of the game is to create your own garden. You will take a polyomino-shaped tile and place a hive on it, and that won't be the last time you're going to hear me say that word. And then you're going to start to grow your garden. And you have to put, I believe it's at least 4 flowers of the same color. And your point is you're going to try to score your largest contiguous group of flowers that are connected to that hive. And then you will also score the bees at the end of the game as well. And there's a little bit more involved in that, but you get the general picture of how it plays. So it's a fun game. It's a peaceful game. Sitting underneath a shady tree looking at the clouds game. And that's the way I'm going to just start describing games.
My number 3 is Everdell. I just think to myself, that game cannot not be on this list. So Everdell was one of the first games that when we started playing.
I remember you bringing it home.
Yeah.
I remember you bringing it home with the tree.
Yeah.
And putting together that first tree. And
oh, it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful when we first set it up. I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And
it was one of those games that sometimes you would have set up when I get home from work.
Yep.
Like on a Friday or something like that. It
Squishy
is
berries.
the game we played at
Yeah.
Game Hole Con with a stranger.
Everdell, currently ranked 31 on Board Game Geek. And my number 3.
All right, my number 3. In 2020, another bee game was developed called Honey Buzz. I chose to put it at 3 because there are both bees and bears in it, but it is essentially a market game that could probably be rethemed pretty easily. In Honey Buzz, you're going to create a hive by using hexagonal tiles in different shapes. How you put together your hive determines what kind of honey it produces. And then you will forage for the appropriate honey tile for the center of your hive. You'll take your bee workers and place it on different worker spots around the hive and take various actions. You can reproduce a baby bee. You can take the forage action, a production action in which you take the honey and put it in your personal supply. You can take a market action, which will allow you to sell honey to fulfill a large or small order, or you can buy honey at the market. There's another action that allows you to gain money from the banker. And then I think the last spot is a wild spot. Is there another action I'm forgetting? I don't think so. I think
I do not know.
I think that's all of them. The game ends when there's only one group of orders, because there are different piles of small orders and large orders. So when there's only one stack of orders left, you've end game, or if you've depleted all the market supply of honey. So the game ends when there's only one group of orders left, or you've depleted the market supply of honey. I will always enjoy Honey Buzz, because when I sit underneath a shady tree and I hear that sound you have in summer and you think, I need to crawl out of here really fast. I mean, you can cut it out. I made that up right now.
What are you doing?
I made that up. I just made that up. My sentence was, I will always enjoy Honey Buzz and will play it eagerly, even though I always lose.
No, that's staying in. That is staying in. Jeez. Honey Buzz would have been my honorable mention. I
had a feeling, because you had this look on your face when I said Queens, and you're looking at your phone like, what game is that?
Yeah, Queen's not, decent game, right? But out of the two bee-themed games, I like Honey Buzz. I like that game a lot.
Yeah, you always win.
My number 2 is currently ranked number 4 on BGG, and that is Ark Nova. So the comparisons when the game first came out were Terraforming Mars. That was the big comparison, I think, because it had all those cards, and it has Terraforming Mars vibes to it.
Yeah, you're building.
Yep.
You're building a zoo, and Terraforming Mars, you're building,
Yep, and all the tags on the cards and everything that plays into it. It's a great game. It took us like 5 hours to play it the first time, so there is no problem with my stamina. And in my mind, I keep telling myself, I need to upgrade that coffee cup. But anyway.
We do have map packs for that.
We do.
That map
we
pack.
Do.
We need to play that.
What I like about that game is the action selection, like the cards, how you can pick a card, and then when you pick it, it slides over to the first spot, and then everything else goes.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. So Ark Nova, you are making a zoo, you're running a zoo, you're collaborating with other zoos. It's good stuff. And that is definitely why it is number 2 on my list.
My number 2 is Llama Land by Phil Walker Harding. This is another game I frequently lose. But the point of this game is to build a pasture for your llamas using, surprise, 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 polyomino tiles. And once you build a decent base, you start building upwards. The interesting thing about this game, I feel, are the end goals that everybody chooses in the beginning. Each of these cards that are laid out, they have different levels on the goal cards. And players in the beginning are going to go back and forth, placing their workers on the goal cards. So we might have some of the same goals. I might be at level 15 and you're on level 10. So when I finish the card, I'll get 15 points. If you finish it, you would only get 10.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we'll have separate goals. We won't be on the same card, but sometimes 50-50. I think a lot of times we're grabbing different goals, but it kind of depends on how high, how, if they're easier goals, we tend to kind of fight over it. So the first to choose a goal will obviously choose the higher scoring level in that card. And for an example, some of the goals might be have the most llamas on level 4 of your pasture, or just have the largest group of llamas. So it's a fun game. It's a tile lane polyomino. The llamas are adorable. But I really lose this game a lot. But I really enjoy it. So Llama Land is my number 2.
Mr. Phil Walker Harding.
All hail, Phil.
My number 1 is currently ranked 126 on the BGG ranking. I sound like such an old man when I say that. I got to stop saying it that way.
You do it so sarcastically because I use it on every quiz. So you're like, oh, on the BGG, it's 166.
No, when I say it, I feel like old man Lauren. My number 1 is ranked 126 on the BGG. Back in my day, we didn't have the BGG on the Facebooks and the MySpaces. All right, anyway. 126 on the BGG ranking system. And if you ask me, it is a little bit too high. It should be down. It should be lower. Let's get into the double digits, people.
Your number 1, you think should be lower on the list? Like it should be like 200?
Like higher on the list, double digits.
Okay. All right.
Not triple. No. Okay.
I think that's the second time
stuff
today.
mixed up. Let's get these rankings boosted, Meeple Chasers. Let's boost it. Boast it. All right. See how much clout I have in the world. Get this game to the top 10. Tell them old man Lauren sent you. All right. I didn't even say the name of the game. So that game, it's simple. It is easy. I mean, like the mechanics are just beautiful in this game. And it blends well with the beautiful artwork. And that is Parks. When we first got Parks, it's elegant. I don't even know how to put it. Like the table presence is just gorgeous. Mm-hmm. And the gameplay is seamless. It just seamlessly, you talk about a game that the theme matches the game.
Yeah.
It is definitely Parks.
Yeah.
So in the game, you take the role of 2 hikers as they trek through the different trails across the 4 seasons of the year. And while you're on the trail, you're going to collect memories of places that you visit. These memories are represented by various resource tokens like mountains and forests. And you collect these memories in sets, and that'll allow you to trade them in to visit a national park. So each trail represents 1 season of the year, and each season the trails will change and grow longer. And your trails are represented by tiles, or essentially cards that get added to the trail. Yeah, it's good stuff.
That's a very nice game.
It is.
That's a very nice game.
It is. So, and that is why it is my number 1 on the top 5 games that have animals in them. And it is 126 on the BGG ranking system. I don't know how to say it. 126 on BGG. Meeple Chasers, get it up there.
Oh, Chris, you gotta love you. Number 1, my number 1. And for an animal themed game, there can be no other number 1 but Ark Nova. Ark Nova is the uncontroverted 2020 smash hit about building a zoo. Of course, you will collect animal cards and score points based off of them, but Ark Nova has a few unusual mechanics. The first one is the player action boards, which is what you were talking about, but get a little bit more in detail. What makes the game so different is how these actions are chosen and played. Each board has slots 1 through 5, and these are values essentially. And at the start of the game, you're going to decide which card goes in which position. And during the play, you're going to play a card in the slot number 5 has a greater benefit than what's going to be in slot number 1. But after you play a card, and this is what you were talking about, you play the card, it moves down to number 1, and everything else moves up, changing the worth on subsequent turns. And each player has the same 5 cards. You have an animal card, which allows you to put your animal in the zoo. You have a build action card, which lets you buy an enclosure. There's a sponsor card, which lets you raise money or play a sponsor. And these people are like environmentalists and scientists. So they get you, a lot of times they're end game points. There is a card, which lets you buy more cards, and an association card. And that allows your association workers to carry out various tasks. And at the start of turn, you'll place your cards on a different number of slots in any order. So you are going to determine the starting values of your cards. The next unusual thing about this game is the scoring. There are 2 scoring tracks, and the first will be your in-game points. So you get from your action cards or, your animal cards, and then the income you get. And the second is from your conservation. These points start slowly, and then they're gradually going to accumulate faster and faster towards the end of the game. And when these 2 tracks converge or overlap any player, that is when the end game is triggered. And then players add their final points, and your final score is based on the difference between the 2 scoring tracks. I think that's one subtracted from the other. Okay, because, I usually make you do that.
Yeah.
It's like, Chris, what's our score? So sometimes we've had negative scores. And sometimes, you're looking at that big track going, wow, I have this high score. And then when it actually gets figured out at the end, you're like, oh, 25. 25 to -3.
But you know what?
What?
It doesn't hurt as much as Patchwork. I'm telling you, Patchwork just sucks the soul right out of you. It is soul sucking.
So on the top 5 quilting themed games, where would Patchwork be?
It wouldn't even be on there. Billion, be number billion. Nothing, nowhere near. Wouldn't even be on my list.
I think that's our only quilting themed game, so that we won't have a quilting theme list.
Well, not to railroad this, but there are other quilting games.
But we don't have other quilting.
You're right.
That's what I said.
And that's probably because they're bad. I don't know. Edit.
Well, Ark Nova was my number 1.
All right, Angie, that was a great list. Now, what do you think the Meeple Chasers? What do you think the Meeple Chasers of this world? What do you think their top 5 list is? Oh,
you want me? I thought you were going to say they're number 1.
I have their top 5 list. It is right here.
Oh.
I went on Board Game Geek and sorted games by animals and sorted that by ranking. And now I have a Meeple Chasers top 5. Number 5 is Everdell. Number 4 is Root. Number 3 is Wingspan. Number 2 is Great Western Trail.
We'll see about that.
And you, my dear, have a crossover with the Meeple Chasers. Ark Nova is number 1.
Well, that's interesting. That's really interesting that
is.
Great Western Trail is on there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're selling the cattle.
Yeah.
But I would not think right away. That's not the first thing I would think of.
As a game with animals in it,
Mhm.
yes. So, alrighty.
Alrighty.
Well, that about wraps up another episode of the Chasing Meeples podcast, episode 10. Double digits. Can't get over it.
Double digits.
All right. On our next episode, Angie, what are we going to talk about?
We're going to have a full review of Beer and Bread by Scott Alms.
Scott Alms, Beer and Bread. That is a game that came out of nowhere for me. Angie was excited about it. It was on her anticipated list for 2023. For me, nowhere on my radar. I'm a little ashamed that it wasn't. And Angie, Meeple Chasers, Old Man Lauren has a message for you. Keep chasing them meeples. Night, everybody.
Thank you, Old Man Lauren.
Get out my lawn! Get out my lawn!
Thanks for listening to episode 10 of the Chasing Meeples podcast. Don't forget to follow, rate, and share this podcast. And most importantly, visit our website, chasingmeeples.buzzsprout.com for more episodes. Keep chasing those meeples. Thank you for your support.